Hi guys, this is Becky with Gehrisch Arts. I wanted to share today a process of gessoing an already primed gessoed canvas just to get a smoother look. I don't want all the canvas texture coming through in this new painting. This painting is for a contest, so I won't be showing the painting process until after, so this is in the past. But first of all, I'm going to gesso the canvas and then sand it and just show you the process at the beginning, and then I'll begin to fill in the colors and work on it. The theme for the contest is the children's book classics, so I'm excited to share this process with you. Thanks. Okay guys, now I'm going to lightly sand my gessoed canvas with some 400 grit sandpaper. Nothing special, I'm just going to lightly sand it and then we'll do some more layers. I have taken my gesso and I am having fun because this is a sloppy process and I just enjoy glopping things up. So I'm going to add my second layer of gesso. Like I said again, this is not necessary for a pre-gessoed canvas, but I do not want the texture of the canvas right now. I'd like some smooth texture, so I am adding more gesso, plain basics acrylic gesso white, and just covering my canvas, sanding it with 400 grit and repeating as necessary until I am getting the results I want with the smoothness. I could probably use a larger brush, but I am just using what I have, nothing special, and I'm just going to rinse later with water. It is all water-based paint and gesso. I'm going to go the opposite direction just to get a cross-hatch of paint on here, gesso, and kind of get more uneven texture. And then after this, I will dry it again. Before I use the hair dryer, I'm going to go ahead and do that same process, just not getting it too hot. I don't want it to get too melty. Just a little bit of heat and air to dry it quickly, and then I will continue on. Okay, between coats of gesso, I am sanding it, of course, again with the 400, just making it nice and smooth. There will be a layer of gesso powder, I guess, left on it, so I'm just taking a very, very damp cloth and wiping that residue off before I do my next layer of gesso so it doesn't get clumpy and bumpy. I have also taken a couple of pieces of little board that from the shop, scrap wood, and sitting my canvas on that, so when I paint down to the bottom, I'm not going down into this groove because that wasn't very fun, and just getting a better surface to work with, especially when I get down to the detail. I won't have to reach down with my paintbrush later on as well. Okay, I wanted to do a comparison of a pre-gessoed canvas before and after I have gessoed it 3 or 4 times and sanding it. The first one you can hear is very coarse. It has a lot of texture which is fine. Sometimes I like the texture. It just depends on what I'm doing. But you can see here the pre-packaged canvases sometimes get damaged or a little thin. Right here is a small mark where the canvas before it was laying on top, and the staple on the back has worn into it. So you don't want to paint directly onto there because that's going to the wood. And you can see there's another spot here, and there's a little bit of a rubbing there. On the right is the canvas I've already gessoed 3 or 4 times, sanding in between with some 400 grit sandpaper and hair drying it in between. It's still a little cool, a little bit tacky since the last one I've done, but as you can hear, the first one, the second one, I don't want to scratch away anything I've worked on, but it's very smooth. There's some brush strokes here and there, a little bit of denting. I could sand away that a little bit more, but overall it is fine to work on now. I'm going to wipe it off since I've got my fingerprints all over it. Usually I haven't had a problem with anything happening with acrylics chipping off from my oils in my skin or using the pre-primed gessoed canvases. So I'm just going to try for a different look, a little bit smoother, a little less problems when it comes to getting fine detail. It's not going to go into the divots and crevices here like it would in this already gessoed canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and get started soon on the painting, but thank you for watching how I go about gessoing over top a pre-gessoed canvas. Thanks!